Hello, my friends.
Greetings.
This is Carl, who has come to be with you on this wonderful day where you have chosen to honor the work that I have tried to accomplish. It is a humbling experience for many teachers come to the world and try to leave a mark on it. But for most of them, their words get forgotten, their work gets forgotten, and they fade into history. And for some reason, that has not happened to me. I am still remembered. And it's the rare teacher that has that happen. I was no saint when I walked your world. I was no magnificent person, or grand teacher even. I was a simple country boy who had a gift that I used to the best of my ability. I followed the teachings that were taught to me by the spirit people who would teach me what to do or what to say, put me in certain positions, and I would do what they asked me to do. And I had no real feeling or knowledge that would be acknowledged after I was gone. I had hoped the work would continue, but I wasn't confident it would happen. So it pleases me so very much to be able to be with you and acknowledge how much this means to me. And I have more important messages to talk about. For the world has crossed the threshold. And the predictions that were made long ago, or years ago I should say, about the plagues coming and visiting us, visiting the world, killing people, terrorizing people, has begun. All you have to do is to turn on your televisions and listen to the news every day to hear more and more of the fear of the unknown being portrayed, being told to you, frightening you. My message to you is to ignore that. You, my friends, know better. You cannot live a spiritual life in fear. And what is happening now in this world is your grand test, my friends. It's your grand test. Have you listened to what the scientists have to say about this virus? About all the people who contracted it, and what small percentage of those people pass into the spirit world because of it? The greater majority survive it. Why is that? Why is that? You should have the knowledge to understand that what people are doing at this point is learning to control their fear. Because it is the fear that will bring you down. It is the negativity of that fear that will prevent you and block out all the teachings that you have acquired up to now. You have to stand tall in your truth. You have to, and I will underline this 17 times, know that you are impenetrable to these viruses, to these plagues. And why is that? Because you know how to talk to the Lord God of your being. You know how to say the affirmations. You know how to heal your body every single day. You should take time to not only heal your body, but to talk to your immune system and energize that. Put it on a high standard. Call it out. Tell it, you have to protect me. It is your job to protect me. I am commanding you to protect me. And you need to talk to it in that manner. You need to bring some energy into what you say in those affirmations, because your life depends on it. Maybe now you'll understand your life depends on it. Because you are the master of your own ship. You are the person who controls your life. You are the one who can manifest whatever you want into your life. So manifest health. Manifest a strong immune system. Manifest that so to protect your life. I want you to think about something, and think about it very deeply. If I was on this earth plane, you know what I'd do right now? I'd go out into a field, buy a bunch of charcoal and light it on fire, and tell you to walk across the coals. Now I know you've seen people do it, and I know you know it's possible to do it. But what does it take for that person to walk across the coals and not have their feet burn? Can they do that in a state of fear? Can they do that with, I think I can do it? Or do they know they can do it? Do they have that energy to know that they can raise their frequency beyond that pain of the burning that could take place? They can raise their frequency so that their feet will not be able to be touched by that flame, or feel that flame, or burn their feet, and they can walk across those coals. Why? Because they've entered that mindset. They've raised their frequency, and they cannot touch that. The great teacher out west taught about our great teacher Jesus as he was on the cross, that he felt no pain, because he had mastered himself to the point that he could raise his frequency and not feel any of the pain as he was hanging on that cross. He raised his frequency so when they took whips to him and beat him, he did not flinch. He did not feel it, because he had that skill that he had developed over the years. You have developed the skill of addressing the Lord God of your being. It is now time for you to use those skills. It is now time for you to create your own affirmation, talking to your body, commanding your soul to activate your immune system, to activate your body, to activate the healing process every single day. The people on your television tell you to wash your hands. I'm certainly not going to tell you not to do that. That's important. You use common sense and you listen to what the scientists say to avoid the diseases. But you use the additional tools of your mind, of your consciousness, of your knowingness, that you can command your body to stay healthy, and it will. You know that. Many of you have manifested things into your lives using that technique. It's now time to use it to keep yourself healthy in these times where these plagues will come and visit and come and attack people. And the people who are scared will be succumb to it. The people who do not follow the advice of how to take care of themselves will succumb to it. And yes, these viruses have the potential to keep changing, so the medications will not work. But your soul doesn't change. Your soul knows how to protect you if you engage it, and it will continue to bring your body into a state of perfect health. You have to know it's possible. You have to go beyond belief and know it is possible. The medium whom I'm speaking through right now has gone through several battles of doubt through his life, through his time of learning to deal with the affirmations, of learning to deal with spirit. He was not confident at all about doing it, and in fact, at times, still isn't. But at times, he is. He has learned to set aside his doubts. He has learned to trust the process. And even if he can't get himself to be in a state of perfect knowingness, of perfect positivity to make something happen, he has learned to release all the negativity and go beyond the fear and at least be in a neutral position to allow it to happen. And if you are in a similar situation where you can't be the positive person and know it can happen, you can certainly be the neutral person and allow it to happen. Because it's not quite as good, but at least the negative side of it is not battling it. The neutral side allows. Allow yourself the exploration to see if this is true for yourself, if you don't have the knowingness that it is. Because the whole point of what I'm trying to tell you is you can't have doubt and you can't have fear. You can be neutral, but knowing that it's going to happen, knowing with every fiber of your being that it will happen is important. Get to the point as far as you can. If you can't be totally there, be partially there. But release the fear and release the negativity. You have been blessed with this knowledge. It is now time for you to use it. It is now time for you to grab hold of everything that you've learned and to start incorporating it into your lives. It's ironic. The people who fear so much, who have all this fear, especially if they have any knowledge of the spirit world, they're actually, by crossing over into the spirit world, in some ways, it's a better place to be than in the physical world. Because as you know, as I've taught so many times, you go into a dimension that you prepared for yourself. So you're with like-minded people. You're not battling the negativity. You're not battling all the things. You're not battling the weaknesses of the physical body, especially as it ages. You are in a much better place right here. So there's really nothing to fear. Fear leaving the physical world. It's a wonderful place to be. It's a wonderful place to learn. It's a wonderful place to test what you've known and what you are experiencing. I'm not negating it. But so many of these people fear death because they've been taught to. It's in the social consciousness of the mind to fear what happens after death. But you know better. You know it's a wonderful place to be, provided you lived a decent life and were not terrible to your neighbors, so you end up in the lower regions. But you in this room have not lived that kind of life, so you know you're going to a good place. So there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. Walk in knowingness, walk in confidence, and when at times that confidence wanes, because it does from time to time, know to connect with us in the world of spirit. For we are there to hold you, we are there to bolster you, we are there to support you, even when you don't know you need support, as this medium was talking to you today. We are there. The world of spirit is a very intelligent place. We know your needs. Those that walk with you know your needs and are there to help you, provided you're open to hear them, that you're open to hear us, and that when we do come through and you do hear us, don't go into this thing, oh, it's my imagination. I wanted to hear that, so that's what had happened. This medium had that experience. When he first went to the grand school in England for mediumship, And I walked the grounds with him, the beautiful grounds. And he felt my presence. And he thought it was my imagination, his imagination. And he didn't think it was real. And he went to class. And he felt me standing behind him with my hands on his shoulders, supporting him. He thought it was his imagination. He thought he was wishing it. And then I inspired the woman who was sitting to his left to say to him at the end of the class, you know, your friend was standing behind you with his hands on your shoulders. If you could have felt the wave of shock that went through his body when he realized that it was true. It wasn't his imagination. It was a grand lesson for him to trust the Spirit. He never again said it was his imagination. He knew communication was possible and he could feel it. And that's what I'm asking each of you to do. Be open to the spirits who walk with you. Seek their guidance in your daily life. And I'm not saying go into the supermarket and say, should I have peaches or should I have strawberries? No. But when you're facing consequences, when you're facing dilemmas in your life, and you need some guidance, and you need our input, don't be afraid to reach out, and don't be afraid to listen to our response. For we are there with you. We walk with you. We walk beside you. We guide you. We observe you at all times. Because we love you and we want the best for you and we want you to progress in your lives. So, I've been rambling for quite a bit. And I want you to take my words to heart. And I want you to realize that as things progress, and as more and more negativity and craziness enters the world, and the chaos and the uncertainty, know that your feet are well planted on the ground. There are walls surrounding you to protect you from the chaos if you create them. If you ask the Lord God of your being to protect you. If you ask for guidance from the Lord God of your being. If you ask the Lord God of your being to walk in front of you every day, allow that to happen. Use the Lord God of your being for healing yourself, for keeping yourself healthy. And when you finally reach the point of knowing this, that this is all happening, you will walk the world without fear. You will walk the world with confidence in your light and in your auric field. And it is at that point that you should not be surprised when your friends and neighbors come to you seeking guidance from you on how to handle certain problems and situations. Because you have incorporated this God, divine God being within your auric field. You are living it. You are projecting it. You are becoming a magnet to help other people. At that point, relax and listen for the guidance from us. And we will give you the answers. We will put the words in your mouth to speak to the people who come to you for answers. Do not be concerned. You will be a vehicle, a vessel for communication from our world. And that is one other affirmation you can add to your list daily. To be a clear channel for spirit. So when you are put in the position to be the answer machine, if you want to call it that the correct information comes through you from the world of spirit to help your fellow human being. I have thrown a lot of information at you this evening, and I realize that. But I wanted to put up mirrors around you to take a look at yourself, to take a look at the possibilities of things to work on at this time, to improve your path on your spiritual journey, to become an aid to your fellow beings, and to help yourself weather the storms that are coming. Because, my friends, they are coming. But you have the capability and the power and the knowledge to sail through them without batting an eye, if you stay true to the teachings that you learned, the teachings that came through me and through other master teachers. I'm not the ones with the answers. I was just a telephone from the world of spirit to bring the answers to you. You can have that same capacity of being the telephone lines to bring answers to other people at times. There are many people waiting in the future for you to teach them. Don't fear that. Walk in the confidence of your truth, and you will be as great as light into the world, and maybe even greater than I was. Because yes, I do acknowledge I helped many people in their lives. Not that I helped them tremendously, but when someone loses a loved one and they discover mediumship, they can be a grand healing for them. They can make peace with the experience of death. And in that way, I helped many people. But the trials and tribulations that are coming are much grander in the scheme of things. And you will be the ones to help. Just know that you can do it, because you have the tools to do it. You've been given the tools to do it many years ago. If you haven't incorporated them till now, begin now. It matters not. My friends, it is sometimes so amazing to me that all of this has transpired. And that even from my dimension, I can teach in your dimension. And despite the fact I used to do that all the time, when the tables are reversed and you are the speaker as opposed to the cables or telephone lines, it's a fairly amazing process. And I'm just happy that I can continue to be a light and example to you and help you along the path of life. So I raise my glass to you, my friends, and I want you to drink of the cup of courage, of the cup of knowingness, and the cup of knowing that you are walking a path that you were destined to walk. It was destined that you cross my path. And for those of you who I didn't meet while I was on this earth plane, we have met this way. It was all a plan. And I'm here to serve and help you. As I taught before I left the earth plane, I said, I'm only a thought away. And that is true, my friends. If ever you need me, just call my name, and I'll be there, as the song says. But it's true, because I can be there in a matter of moments. But you have to have the capacity to open your ears, to open your mind, to hear my response. You can do that. It's your birthright to do that. It was your birthright before that was taken from you by the tyrants of religion and mind control. But you have acquired it back. Use it, my friends. My blessings to you. My love goes out to you. Peace be with you.